So this comes into the right tool for the job. This is exactly what you as snow and ice management professionals need to make sure that your employees, whether you have a big team or a small team, are able to complete the tasks they're given and go home at the end of the day without severe fatigue. So with this in sidewalks, walkways, pathways, different boardwalks, pedestrian paths, whatever they all have different forms of opportunities. If approached correctly, they can be a huge part of your business where it's profitable. There are many different tools for this. It's a matter of taking a time to look at what your operation is, what your accounts are, and finding what's going to be the best tool for you to optimize your profits. So thinking of challenges that come with sidewalk management, a lot of professionals in this industry are somewhat put off by maintaining sidewalks because finding people to shovel, the labor, whether the employee retention, tribal knowledge of getting these accounts right and done on time, wages, you got the risks of slip and fall, injury, whether it's your employee or the person walking on the sidewalk. And in order to adopt or to correct these risks or divert them, you need to find the correct tool for the job. So there are a lot of different sized tools for the job. You got the basic shovel, which there's many different sizes, shapes, and as our friend Freddie Taylor found that there is always the right size shovel for the right type of snow. So it's whether the snow is heavy and dense, whether it's the surface you're working on, if it's a sidewalk or it's pavers or it's composite decking, whatever, there's going to be a specific shovel for you. The pros of this, hey, they're effective. Everyone knows how to use a shovel. You don't really need a whole lot of training into it. Parts are cheap and relatively durable. The cons, it's a lot of work. You're going to need people to carry those shovels. If you have a lot of sidewalks, it may not be the best option for you. And then you've got snow blowers or snow throwers. You've got different kinds, single stage, two stage, vehicle mounted. The surface you're working on you need to consider, and what is your count requirements. Whether it needs to be down to pavement or if it's is just moving snow back away from as far away from the surface as possible. Some pros of this: effective, minimal training required. Again, it's transportable and affordable depending on the size of snow thrower you're looking at. There's many different sizes of them, and which one works for you and your team is something to consider. Snow throwers often you've got moving parts. You're picking up snow and you're moving it, and whatever's underneath that snow could also be moved with it, whether it's rocks or debris or, in my case, dog toys. So knowing what's underneath the surface is important, and if you're in a variable situation, snow throwers could potentially cause some concerns for some risks. Next, we're moving up to ATV and UTV plows. A lot of sidewalk contractors use ATV, UTVs for their durability, the multi-seasonal use. Easy to make an investment into an ATV and be able to use it all year long, whether you're a landscape contractor or snow only, and you've got land that you want to use. There's different types of plows for ATVs. You got straights and V plows. These are durable goods. Cons, cost is a big one. You can get cheap UTVs and ATVs, but generally service and maintenance can be costly in this case. Also, the speed at which you're traveling can be concern if you're a bigger contractor with lots of employees that are taking these things out onto sidewalks. Compact tractors, skid steer plows. Um, Sidewalks are not always the widest of places to be, and when you get into these bigger pieces of equipment, your wheel width, your plow width uh, can reach over into the grass or whatever landscaping is on the side. So that can cause some risk for postseason maintenance. Um, Again, these are multi-seasonal use, often have available enclosed cabs with heat, which is a wonderful thing when it's cold out, as we all know. And now we're moving in kind of a more modern direction with sidewalk vehicles. Last decades, sidewalk-specific snow removal vehicles have become a lot more common on the sidewalk scene. There's a lot of different options coming out these days. Um, Things to consider that you're going to need are blowers, spreaders, snow throwers, the different applications, different pieces of equipment or attachments that go on the front. Again, property requirements. You're seeing a common theme here. There's a lot of factors to consider, but each size, each type of equipment carries a lot of the same considerations. The sidewalk vehicles are meant specifically for sidewalks, so they're the kind of vehicles that you're going to be solely using for this task. You've got mechanical snow removal, and of course you've got granular snow removal or ice removal with ice control options like drop spreaders, broadcast spreaders, and more recently we're seeing a lot more brine and liquids. So the thing is with these sidewalk vehicles, they're effective, they're easy to use. If you're a landscape contractor and you know how to run a zero-turn tractor, the concepts are very similar. The cons here, you're looking at monitoring of your staff. You got pedestrian traffic, property damage. Pretty common with anything on sidewalks is you're worried about um, any piece of equipment running over sidewalks could potentially cause property damage, and training and awareness of where you are and where your employee is something of deep consideration to ensure that there's minimal property damage incurred. So a couple safety tips. As we move into this, there's a lot of obvious things. Snow removal, it happens at night. Visibility, especially during a blizzard, we're talking it's difficult to see people on the sidewalks. It's difficult to see people from the roads. You got plow trucks moving in and out. Consider adding reflective shovels or reflectors to your shovels. Maybe put a beacon light on your sidewalk vehicle. Safety vests on your operators. Anything to help draw awareness to your operation on the sidewalk. And in larger cities, larger accounts, your folks are out there with long hours in the night. Blizzards don't have an alarm clock, and they don't they don't just show up on a schedule. So often your operators are going to be out in the snow, in the cold for a long period of time, and that can take a toll on your body. So having the proper ergonomics in place while you're shoveling, having the right size shovel for the job, staying on top of the snow, don't let it build up too high before you go out there. A lot of accounts have inch triggers, whether it's 1 inch, no zero tolerance triggers, 3-inch triggers, whatever. Whatever that trigger is, keep in mind the tool for the job that you're using, as that trigger may be too much before you actually get out there with that tool. Clearing the snow every few inches instead of waiting for it is going to keep you you keep your workers from getting tired, and your operators at the top of their game. Of course, slipping and falling is a hazard, no matter what during the winter. Make sure you're wearing your good boots, get some traction on them, get some of those yak tracks or um, traction enhancements for your boots, um, anything to prevent a fall. And something we often forget when it's getting cold out, it's very difficult to, you don't realize how much hydration you're losing. Drinking water, drinking coffee, um, energy drinks, whatever, making sure you drink enough water to stay hydrated and um, uh, avoid drowsiness and whatever comes with being dehydrated is incredibly important. So make sure you stay hydrated. I know our friends in high elevations are aware of this year round, but us flatlanders um, often forget that we need to uh, have a bottle of water in the vehicle and need to stay hydrated as much as we can. That ensures that we are not falling asleep at the wheel or what have you.